Hello everyone. I am Dreaming Stories and I am here to help you today. I know you use this video to fall asleep. So before that, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, where are you from and what time are you watching? Now get comfortable and relax. The first thing you notice when you step out of the car is the silence. Not the kind of silence you get in the suburbs or even at a cabin near a lake. The kind that still hums faintly with life, with cars miles away, with the occasional bark of a distant dog. No. This is a silence that presses down on you, thick and heavy, like snow on a roof. Only the wind moves, sighing through the endless wall of trees, dark green and ancient, their needles hissing softly against one another as if conspiring. "This is perfect," says Aaron, throwing his arms wide like some conquering hero. His grin is white against the deep tan of his skin, his eyes bright with that restless energy that got him voted most likely to do something stupid in high school. Can you feel it? Fresh air. No traffic. No people. Just us and Mother Nature. Mother Nature can keep her mosquitoes, mutters Lily, slamming the car door. She pulls her hoodie tight around her petite frame and glares at the shadows between the trees like they insulted her personally. You guys know there's no cell service out here, right? Zero. Like, if we get murdered, no one's gonna find our bodies until next summer. Jesus, Lil, way to set the mood, says Marcus from the back as he hauls out the cooler. His voice is calm, even bored, but his eyes are scanning the woods, sharp and calculating. Marcus is the sensible one, the guy you want around when things go to hell, but even he looks uneasy out here. I sling my own bag over my shoulder and take in the forest around us. It's beautiful, I can't deny that. The trees tower like cathedral pillars, their trunks furred with moss. Shafts of sunlight break through the canopy in golden spears, catching on tiny motes of dust that float like slow fireflies. There's a faint smell of pine sap and damp earth, rich and clean. And yet, something about it feels off. I tell myself it's just because we're so far from civilization. The trailhead sign we passed 20 minutes ago might as well have said "Abandon all hope ye who enter here." According to Aaron's printed map, because GPS is useless out here, we're a good 7 miles from the nearest road. No cabins, no ranger stations. Just us. And something else. All right, campers. Aaron claps his hands together. Tents first, then beer. Priorities, Lily mutters, but she starts hauling gear anyway. It takes us an hour to hike to the clearing Aaron picked out. The trail narrows as we go, roots clawing at our boots, branches whispering against our arms. The deeper we go, the dimmer the light becomes, until it feels like we're wading through green shadows. Birds call now and then, sharp, alien cries I can't name, but otherwise the silence deepens. No distant traffic. No planes overhead. Just us and the sound of our own breathing. When we finally stumble into the clearing, it's like stepping into another world. The trees open up to a round patch of grass the size of a small backyard, hemmed in on all sides by the towering pines. The ground is soft and springy, perfect for tents. Sunlight slants across it like a golden spotlight. This is, actually kind of nice, Lily admits grudgingly. Told you, Aaron says, already dropping his pack. This is gonna be epic. No noise, no people, just nature. Pure and raw. And bears, Marcus says dryly. Don't jinx it, I tell him, though I'm half serious. I've read enough survival horror stories to know that bears are the least of our worries. Still, I keep my mouth shut and help set up the tents. By the time we've got camp pitched and a fire crackling in the pit Aaron dug out last summer, the sun is sliding behind the treetops, painting the sky in bruised purples and molten gold. Shadows stretch long across the clearing, pooling like ink. The air grows cooler, the forest sounds shifting, birds going quiet, insects rising in a droning chorus. We sit around the fire with beers in hand, watching sparks float up into the night. The fire's glow flickers against our faces, making us look like strangers in some ancient ritual. For a while, it's peaceful. Almost perfect. We talk and laugh and roast marshmallows until the stars bloom overhead, cold and sharp as diamonds. Then I see them. At first, I think it's just fireflies, tiny pinpricks of light drifting between the trees. But these aren't warm yellow glows. They're pale, almost bluish, and they move, wrong. Not in the lazy, looping way fireflies do, but in sharp, deliberate patterns, weaving back and forth like signals. Hey, I say, frowning into the dark. Do you guys see that? Aaron follows my gaze. His grin spreads slow and wide. Oh, hell yes. I was hoping for some freaky forest vibes. Lily squints. Fireflies? No, Marcus says quietly. He's leaning forward, elbows on his knees, eyes fixed on the lights. Look at the way they move. The four of us sit there, watching as the lights pulse and shift, sliding between the trunks like ghosts. There are maybe half a dozen of them, glowing faintly, their edges blurred like mist. They flicker in and out, darting deeper, then closer again, as if they're teasing us. Probably other campers, Aaron says, though his voice has that tight edge he gets when he's bluffing. Lanterns or something. Who the hell camps this deep in the woods? Lily snaps. We haven't seen a single person all day. Only one way to find out. Aaron grabs a flashlight and gets to his feet. Wait, I start, but he's already heading for the trees, boots crunching softly on the needles. He glances back at us, eyes glinting in the firelight. Come on. It's probably nothing. Marcus swears under his breath, but he grabs his own light and follows. I hesitate, glancing at Lily. Her face is pale in the firelight, eyes wide and hard. Don't, she says. This is how people die in horror movies. I should listen. God, I should listen. But something about those lights tugs at me, curiosity, dread, I don't know. Before I can stop myself, I'm on my feet, trailing after the guys. The forest swallows us almost immediately. The firelight fades behind us, leaving only the thin beams of our flashlights slicing through the dark. The air feels colder here, damp and heavy. Every sound is louder, the crunch of leaves underfoot, the rasp of our breath. The lights dance ahead of us, just out of reach. Every time we get close, they drift farther, slipping between the trees like will-o'-the-wisps. I tell myself it has to be people, that any second will stumble onto some idiot teens with glow sticks. But deep down, I know better. Wait, Marcus says suddenly, his light swinging across the ground. Do you hear that? We all freeze. At first, there's nothing. Then, soft and thin, like smoke, comes a whisper. Too faint to make out words, but it sounds almost like names. My name. I spin, heart hammering. The woods behind us are empty, shadows stretching like claws. Guys, I say, my voice cracking. This isn't funny. It's the wind, Aaron says, but his voice is tight, his eyes darting. Come on. Let's just, the lights vanish. 1 second they're there, pulsing like cold stars between the trunks. The next, they're gone. Swallowed by the dark. A silence falls, thick as a shroud. Okay, Aaron says, forcing a laugh that sounds like breaking glass. That was creepy as hell. Let's head back. No one argues. By the time we stumble back into camp, the fire is a bed of glowing coals and Lily is pacing like a caged cat. When she sees us, her face twists in fury and relief all at once. Are you insane? She hisses. You were gone for an hour. I thought, she cuts herself off, hugging her arms tight. Forget it. Just, don't ever do that again. We mutter apologies and settle in for the night, but the mood is broken. The forest feels different now, like something is watching from the shadows just beyond the firelight. None of us talks much. Eventually, one by one, we crawl into our tents. I lie there in the dark, listening to the wind sigh through the pines. My heartbeat slows. My eyes drift shut. That's when I hear it. A whisper, so soft it could be my imagination. My name, breathed like a secret, curling through the tent walls. I hold my breath, ears straining. There it is again, fainter this time, but closer. My skin crawls. I squeeze my eyes shut, tell myself it's just the wind. And then, outside, something moves. Slow. Deliberate. Circling the tent. I don't sleep at all. Morning comes gray and cold. Mist clings to the clearing like smoke. The fire is dead, our breath puffing white in the air. Aaron crawls out of his tent, hair sticking up, eyes bloodshot. Coffee, he croaks. Please tell me someone brought, where's Lily? Marcus cuts in. I blink, glance at her tent. The flap is zipped shut. Still asleep. Marcus is already moving. He kneels, rips the zipper down. The tent is empty. For a heartbeat, none of us speaks. Then Aaron whispers, "No. No way." Her sleeping bag lies neatly on the floor, zipped up like it's been tucked in for the night. Her boots are gone. So is her jacket. But there are no footprints outside. No sign of struggle. Just damp earth and curling mist. And then I see it. On the trunk of the nearest tree, carved deep into the bark, is a symbol. A circle split by jagged lines, glowing faintly with that same cold light we saw last night. It points into the woods. And from somewhere deep in those trees, so faint I almost don't hear it, comes a voice. Help. Lily's voice. But wrong. Twisted. Like something wearing her mouth. For a long moment, the three of us just stand there, frozen. My breath curls white in the mist, shallow and fast. The sound, that voice, lingers in the air like smoke, coiling between the trees, sinking into my bones. It was Lily. It had to be Lily. But something about it, the way it stretched, cracked, echoed, it didn't sound like anything human should. Marcus is the first to move. He grabs his flashlight, checks the beam like a soldier checking his rifle. We're going after her, he says, his voice clipped, hard. Now. Aaron lets out a sharp laugh, but there's no humor in it. After her. You heard that, right? That wasn't, Christ, Marcus, that wasn't normal. What do you want to do? Marcus snaps, his calm cracking into anger. Sit here and wait for her to die. Aaron's jaw clenches. His bravado, the endless jokes, the cocky grin, is gone. In its place is raw, naked fear. I don't know, man. Call someone. Rangers. He cuts himself off, remembering what Lily said yesterday. No signal. No service. No help. I swallow hard. My throat feels tight, dry. Guys, I manage. Look. They follow my gaze to the tree. The symbol gleams faintly against the bark, like it's sweating light. And now that I'm looking, really looking, I see more of them. Faint scratches on other trunks, glowing just enough to catch the corner of your eye. A trail, leading away from camp. Into the woods. Jesus, Aaron whispers. What the hell is that? No one answers. We just stand there, staring at those symbols, feeling the weight of something vast and wrong pressing down on us. The forest seems different now, darker, deeper, the trees leaning close like eavesdroppers. Then the voice comes again. Closer this time. Help, please. Lily. Marcus shoulders his pack. We go, he says. Bring what you can carry. Leave the rest. Aaron opens his mouth, maybe to argue, maybe to scream, but Marcus is already moving, following that trail of ghost-like glyphs. After a second, I grab my bag and run after him, because what else can I do? Leave her out there. Alone. Aaron curses under his breath, spits into the dirt, and follows. The trail pulls us deeper and deeper, winding through trees that look older than time. The air grows colder, heavier, until every breath feels like sucking ash. The mist thickens, curling in pale ribbons around our boots. Our flashlights throw long, shivering beams that catch only fragments, the gleam of wet bark, the sharp curve of roots like clutching fingers. Beyond that, blackness. And always, the symbols. They're carved into the trees at perfect intervals, each one glowing with that same pale fire, each one different, a spiral, a cross-hatched grid, a twisting line that makes my eyes ache to follow. Some are so fresh the bark around them is damp, as if the tree itself is bleeding light. Every time I think we've reached the last one, another gleams ahead, pulling us farther from camp, farther from safety. I keep glancing back, hoping to see the clearing, the tents, anything familiar. But the path behind us is swallowed by mist. The symbols there are already fading, like they never existed at all. Marcus, I whisper. Do you even know where we are? He doesn't answer. Just keeps moving, jaw clenched, flashlight beam jittering across the dark. Marcus, I say again, louder this time. My voice cracks. We could get lost. We could. Shut up, Aaron snaps, his voice raw. Just shut up, okay? Something in his tone makes me bite down hard on the rest of my words. He's scared. We all are. It's leaking out of us now, thick and sour, filling the air like a smell. We walk for what feels like hours. The ground slopes down, then up again, sucking at our boots with damp leaves. The forest grows wilder, stranger, trees twisted into shapes that make my stomach knot, branches gnarled like arthritic hands. The air is so cold now that my breath streams white in front of me. Then the whispers start. Not just Lily's voice, though I hear that too, faint and thin, always ahead of us. Now there are others. Murmurs curling through the trees, too soft to make out, but there. I feel them brushing against my ears, skimming over my skin, sinking like hooks into my brain. I start counting my steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, anything to drown them out. But the numbers tangle, slip away. The whispers slide between them, prying them apart. By the time Marcus raises his hand and stops, I'm shaking so hard I can barely keep my light steady. What? I start, but the word dies in my throat. Because there's something up ahead. At first, it looks like another clearing. Then my eyes adjust, and I realize it's a circle, a perfect circle, maybe 30 feet across, the trees around it standing like pillars. The ground is bare earth, dark and wet, as if it's been scraped clean. In the center rises something that makes my stomach drop. A stone. Not a boulder, not a random chunk of rock, a monolith. Tall, narrow, carved with the same symbols as the trees, only deeper, sharper. They writhe across its surface like veins, glowing that same cold, bluish white. The light pulses faintly, like a heartbeat. And hanging from the stone, God, no, is Lily's jacket. Torn, soaked dark at the edges. Flapping in a wind I can't feel. My knees go weak. I taste metal in my mouth. Oh my God, I whisper. Oh my God, Lily. Marcus calls, his voice cracking like old wood. Lily. The whisper comes again, curling out of the trees like smoke. Help me. But it doesn't come from the clearing. It comes from everywhere. Marcus steps forward. I grab his arm without thinking. Don't, I hiss. Something's wrong, he shakes me off. His face is white, eyes burning with something between rage and terror. "She's here," he says, like if he says it enough times it'll be true. "She's here." Aaron makes a sound, a low, broken laugh. "What the hell is this? What the actual?" He clamps his hands over his head like he can shut it out, shut all of it out. Then the ground moves. At first I think it's my eyes playing tricks. But no, the earth inside the circle is shifting, bulging, like something beneath it is pushing up. The whispers rise to a hiss, a chorus, words threading together into something almost like language. Marcus freezes mid-step. The soil splits. And something crawls out. It's not Lily. It's not anything human. It drags itself upright, limbs too long, joints bending wrong. Its skin, or what looks like skin, is slick and black, gleaming like oil in the glow of the stone. Where its face should be is only smooth darkness, featureless except for a mouth that splits open with a sound like tearing flesh. And from that mouth comes Lily's voice. "Help me, please." My flashlight clatters from my hand. My body won't move. Won't breathe. I can't even scream. The thing tilts its head, the slit of its mouth stretching wider, wider, until the whisper becomes a shriek. The scream rips through the forest like a blade, high and jagged, splitting the air, vibrating in my teeth. It's Lily's voice, yes, but stretched, warped, laced with something else. Something that isn't human at all. My ears ring, my stomach flips, and for a wild second I think my skull might crack open under the force of it. Marcus is the first to break. He lunges forward like a man possessed, shouting her name, his boots chewing deep furrows into the wet earth. "Lily." His voice is raw, cracking, and it slices through the scream like a desperate knife. "Marcus, no." I shout, but he doesn't even hear me. Aaron grabs my arm so hard his nails dig through my sleeve. "What the fuck is that?" he hisses, his voice strangled. His flashlight jerks wildly, the beam slicing across the thing as it uncoils its limbs, rising to its full, awful height. At least 7 feet tall. Too thin. Too many angles. Its black flesh glistens with like something just born. And the mouth, God, that mouth, splits wider as it watches Marcus, stretching ear to ear, exposing a hollow cavern of glistening, teethless dark. The scream stops. Just, cuts off, like a switch flipped. And then, it laughs. Not loud. Not human. A soft, choking chuckle that vibrates in my bones, curling like smoke from that gaping mouth. Marcus freezes mid-step. Then it speaks. "Marcus." It's Lily's voice again, but slow, broken, stuttering through something else's throat. A puppet voice. A mimicry. It tilts its head, twitching, jerking like its neck is strung on wires. Marcus takes another step, his breath ragged, tears gleaming on his cheeks. "Lily?" His voice splinters like glass. "Lily, I'm here." The thing moves. It doesn't walk. It snaps. 1 second it's 10 feet away. The next, it's right there. Inches from Marcus. Its limbs blur, bending wrong, folding and unfolding like knives. My brain can't keep up. One blink and it's there. Marcus screams, raw and hoarse, and swings his flashlight like a club. It smashes against the thing's shoulder with a hollow crack. The light dies. Darkness swallows half the clearing. The creature doesn't flinch. It just leans in. The slit of its mouth yawns open, wider and wider, until it's not a mouth anymore but a pit. A tunnel of black lined with faint, twitching shapes I can't name, can't process without wanting to rip my own eyes out. I hear Marcus gag. I smell something sweet and rotten bloom in the air. His scream gurgles, cuts short like a wire yanked from a wall. And then, silence. For half a heartbeat, I can't move. My body is ice, locked. My brain is screaming run 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 run, but my legs won't listen. Not until the thing turns its head toward me. And then I'm moving. I don't remember grabbing Aaron. Don't remember the flashlight flying from my hand. Just the forest exploding around us as we tear through it, branches clawing at our faces, roots trying to drag us down. The mist is thicker now, churning like smoke, wrapping around the trees in pale coils. I can't see where I'm going, just the blur of Aaron's back, the wild swing of his arms, the ragged sound of his breath. And behind us, oh God, behind us, I hear it. Not running. Not crashing through the undergrowth like something that size should. Just sliding. A whisper of motion that feels like it's inside my skull, like it's crawling along the grooves of my brain. Aaron. I choke out. Don't stop, he screams, voice cracking. Don't stop. Something brushes my arm. Cold as ice, slick like oil. I scream, stumble, slam shoulder first into a tree. Pain explodes down my side, but Aaron yanks me up, drags me forward, his fingers digging bruises into my wrist. Move, move, move. I don't know how long we run. Time's gone. There's only the sound of my heart pounding like a war drum, the rasp of my breath tearing my throat raw, the sharp crack of twigs under our boots. My vision tunnels. My legs burn, scream, turn to lead. Still, we run. Until the trees thin. Until a glow blooms ahead, not pale, not blue, but orange, warm and flickering like salvation. The fire. The clearing. Camp. We burst through the last line of trees and stumble into the open, gasping like drowning men. Our tents crouch in the mist, shadows hunched low. The fire pit glows with faint embers, our gear scattered where we left it. It looks wrong. Like a stage set, abandoned halfway through the play. Aaron collapses to his knees, vomiting into the grass. I stand there, shaking so hard my teeth chatter, staring at the black maw of the trail behind us. There's nothing there. Just trees. Mist. Silence. But I know it's not gone. I know. When I finally drop beside Aaron, he's pale and slick with sweat, his eyes rolling white in the firelight. His hands shake so hard he can barely hold the water bottle I shove at him. Marcus, he croaks, water spilling down his chin. Where's Marcus? I open my mouth. Nothing comes out. Because I don't have an answer. Because the only thing I can see, burned into the inside of my skull, is that thing leaning over him. That mouth yawning open, stretching until it wasn't a mouth anymore but a hole. A door. And Marcus, my friend, my anchor, falling into it. We sit there in the dim glow, shivering like kids, listening. Every creak of the trees is a footstep. Every sigh of the wind is a whisper curling through the dark. We can't stay, Aaron says finally. His voice is flat, dead. Like something inside him snapped out there and left only this hollow shell. We can't, we have to go. Now. To where? My voice cracks. You saw how far we came. The car's 7 miles. We don't even know then we run, he snaps, his eyes flaring. We run and we don't look back. Something in his tone, sharp, wild, makes me shut my mouth. Because he's right. Whatever that thing was, it knows where we are now. And if we stay, a sound cuts through the clearing. A voice. Soft. Sweet. Familiar. Hey. My blood turns to ice. It's Marcus. It sounds like Marcus. Warm. Calm. Like nothing happened. Like we didn't just watch him vanish into that black maw. His voice drips from the trees, easy as smoke. Guys, it's okay. I'm fine. Aaron makes a choking sound and staggers to his feet. No, I hiss, grabbing his sleeve. No, 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 don't, he jerks free. It's him. His voice cracks into a laugh, high and broken. It's Marcus, he's alive. And before I can stop him, he's walking toward the trees. Toward the mist. Toward the voice that isn't Marcus. And then, I see them. The lights. Back again. Flickering between the trunks, pale and cold, moving in those same strange patterns. Only now there are more. Dozens. Hundreds. A swarm of ghostly fireflies, weaving and pulsing like a heartbeat. And from their glow steps a figure. Tall. Thin. Black as oil. Behind it, something else moves. Something that looks like Marcus. It moves slowly at first, Marcus, or the thing wearing his shape, its silhouette cutting sharp against the shifting glow of those unnatural lights. He looks wrong. His gait jerks, stutters, like a video buffering on bad Wi-Fi. His limbs don't swing right. They dangle too loose, too long, joints bowing just enough to twist your stomach if you notice. But his face, that's what makes my breath seize in my throat. It's Marcus's face. Same square jaw, same dark eyes, same scar by his temple from that bike crash in middle school. Except, the smile. It stretches too wide, pulling his cheeks taut, showing too many teeth. Not sharp teeth. Just, too many. Hey, guys, he says, his voice warm and steady as summer rain. You ran off so fast. Scared me. Aaron freezes mid-step. His arms hang limp at his sides. I can see his brain fighting his body, see it in the twitch of his jaw, the flutter of his throat. But when Marcus smiles wider, too wide, Aaron takes another step forward. Marcus, he whispers, tears glinting in the fire's dying glow. Oh, thank God. Don't, I snap, grabbing his sleeve so hard my nails bite through the fabric. My voice comes out raw, like it had to claw its way out of my chest. Aaron, that's not him. Aaron wrenches around, his eyes wild, wet. It's him. He's right there. No, I hiss. You saw what happened. You saw. I'm fine, Marcus says, cutting me off like a knife. His voice slides through the clearing, soft and soothing, wrapping around us like silk. I just need help. Please. Come closer. His head tilts. His smile flickers wider, wider, until the skin at the corners of his mouth begins to split, fine cracks seeping dark. His eyes gleam with the lights behind him, pupils dilated so far there's barely any white left. And as he speaks, his chest doesn't move. Not an inch. No breath. No rise and fall. Aaron doesn't see it. Or he doesn't want to. Aaron, I beg, my voice breaking. Please. Look at him. He hesitates. Just for a second. And in that second, the thing that looks like Marcus takes another step closer. And another. Its smile jerks wider with every move, cracks ripping deeper, threads of black gleaming like oil. Its hands, God, its hands dangle too low, fingers grazing the ground. And each finger splits at the tip, peeling into pale, jointed spines that twitch, twitch, twitch. The lights behind it swell, pulsing in a rhythm that's almost like a heartbeat but not quite human. The mist curls thick around its legs, hiding where they end. Aaron, it says again. Don't listen to them. And then, its voice shifts. Halfway through the sentence, Marcus's warm baritone fractures into Lily's thin, breaking sob. Please, it whimpers, her voice quivering with terror. It hurts. Help me. Aaron shudders like he's been struck. His knees buckle. A sound tears out of him, a sob, sharp and raw. Lily, he chokes, stumbling forward. I grab him again, hard enough to rip the skin of my palms, but he spins on me like a man possessed, eyes blazing with something between grief and rage. They're alive, he screams, spit flying. We can't leave them. They're dead, Aaron. I scream back, louder than I've ever screamed in my life. My voice shreds my throat. Whatever that is, it's not them. Something snaps behind us. A dry, cracking sound, like a branch breaking. Only it's louder. Closer. I whirl, heart in my throat, and see the trees leaning, like something's pushing through them from all directions. The symbols carved into their bark flare brighter, pulsing with that same cold light. Lines writhe in the glow like worms under skin. The air hums, low and deep, vibrating in my teeth. The forest is closing. We're being herded. Marcus, or what's left of him, stops 10 feet away. The smile splits up to his ears now, skin stretched until it peels. The black that seeps from the cracks glints wet, dripping down his chin. His hands hang open, spines twitching, flexing like eager claws. And in that broken chorus of voices, Marcus's, Lily's, dozens more sliding over each other, it speaks again. Don't run. And then the lights surge forward. Not slow now. Not teasing. They snap through the trees like a tide of white fire, streaking between trunks, spiraling overhead, slamming into the ground in perfect arcs. They're not fireflies. They're not lanterns. There's something else, pure, burning symbols, alive and hungry, writhing through the mist like veins of lightning. They carve more glyphs into the bark as they move, fast and frantic, until the whole forest blazes with their crawling script. The hum rises. My bones rattle. My brain screams with it. Aaron staggers back, eyes huge, face ghost pale. Finally, he sees. Jesus, he croaks. Jesus Christ. Aaron, the thing croons, taking one last jerking step. Stay. Its voice splits, a dozen voices spilling from that too wide mouth, all hissing, all begging. We run. I don't remember grabbing Aaron this time. Don't remember the tents, the fire, the clearing. Just the trees whipping past, the light streaking overhead, the earth shaking underfoot like something vast is turning in its sleep. The air burns cold in my lungs. The mist claws at my face like fingers. My boots slip, skid, slam roots, but I don't stop. Not for anything. Behind us, the voices chase. Not words anymore. Just sounds. High, low, broken, warping in and out of human shape. Laughter bubbling through screams, sobs cracking into whispers. And beneath them all, the hum. That deep, bone-vibrating drone, louder, 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 until it's all I can hear, all I can be. We break into a dead run down a slope, our bodies lurching, gravity tearing at us. Branches whip my face raw. Aaron stumbles, hits the ground hard, rolls. I scream his name, grab his jacket, haul him up by pure adrenaline. His nose is bleeding. His eyes are wild, glazed. He mumbles something I can't hear over the hum. The lights slash past us, a streak of burning white carving into a tree so close it singes my sleeve. The glyph flares so bright it sears my vision. When I blink, it's burned into my eyelids like an afterimage, a circle, split by jagged lines. The same symbol from this morning. The same one that started all of this. The forest breaks open ahead. Not the road. Not salvation. Another clearing. Bigger than the first, ringed by stones that blaze with crawling script, each taller than a man, slick with mist. The ground inside is black, wet, carved with spirals that twist, twist, twist into a pit yawning at the center. A hole that drops into nothing but darkness and the hum, the endless, bone-deep hum rolling up from its throat like breath. I skid to a halt, yanking Aaron so hard he screams. My chest heaves, lungs ripping. My brain shrieks, not here. Anywhere but here. But the forest behind us seethes with lights. The voices boil. The mist surges. We're trapped. Aaron stumbles, clutching his head, sobbing something I can't catch. The hum crawls into my teeth, my skull, whispering against the edges of my thoughts like cold fingers. Behind us, something steps out of the mist. Tall. Black. Smiling wide enough to split the world. And this time, it's not alone. At first, I can't count them. My brain refuses, like if it doesn't assign a number, it won't be real. But the silhouettes keep coming, 1, 2, 3, 5, more, sliding from the mist, black against the writhing glow of the forest behind them. They move wrong, jerky and too smooth at the same time, their joints bending like hinges that shouldn't exist. Each shape stretches taller than a man, limbs unfolding like knives from slick, shining torsos. Their faces, or where faces should be, are empty pools of dark. Except for the mouths. Every single one smiles. Too wide. Too deep. Splitting to the hinge of the jaw, slick with that black gleam that isn't blood, isn't anything I know. And from those open pits comes a chorus of voices, Lily's laugh, Marcus's cry, whispers that taste like secrets and old graves. Aaron makes a sound like something tearing. He staggers back, his boots sliding in the mud, eyes rolling white. No, he croaks. No, 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 no. The figures halt at the edge of the clearing, tall and still, like sentinels. The lights, the crawling, living symbols, swarm around their feet, streaking over their limbs, etching more script into their slick hides. For a moment, the only sound is the hum, rolling out of the pit at the center of the clearing, vibrating through the stones, the earth, my bones. It feels alive. Like breath. Like the slow inhale of something vast beneath us. Then, one of them steps forward. The one that wore Marcus's face. It doesn't now. The scraps of skin that clung to its black frame hang in ribbons, slick and twitching, teeth scattered through the tatters like pearls. Its head jerks side to side in quick, insect snaps as it takes us in. When it speaks, it uses both voices, Marcus's deep timbre and Lily's high tremor, laced with others now, hundreds sliding over each other in a babble of sound. Stay, it croons. Stay with us. Aaron whimpers like a child. God, he gasps, clutching his head. God, make it stop. Don't listen, I snarl, grabbing his arm, dragging him backward toward the only gap in the ring of stones. My muscles scream, lungs rip fire, but adrenaline burns hotter than pain. Move. Move. He stumbles after me, half dead on his feet. Behind us, the figures glide forward, slow, deliberate, their limbs bending in awful, liquid arcs. The light thickens, pouring like molten veins across the clearing, sealing every gap except the one we're heading for. The mist swirls heavy, cold, tasting of copper and rot. The hum deepens, booming up from the pit like a heartbeat the size of a god. Then the earth shifts. I feel it through my boots first, a tremor, subtle as a shiver. Then stronger. The spirals carved into the black soil blaze white, writhing, twisting inward toward the hole. The stones flare brighter, symbols crawling across their faces like living worms. The pit yawns wider, black lips peeling back, and from its throat rises a sound that isn't a sound but a thought, slamming into my skull so hard my vision whites out. Come. It's not a word. Not in any language I know. But I know what it means, the way you know fire burns. It drags across my mind like hooks, pulling, promising silence, rest, something beyond the ache of flesh. My knees buckle. My grip on Aaron slips. He screams. Not at me. At himself. Because his feet are moving. One step. Then another. His body jerks like a marionette, strings yanked by something I can't see. His face twists, teeth bared in a rictus of horror as he fights his own legs. Help me, he chokes, spittle flying. I can't. I lunge, grab him under the arms, dig my heels into the mud. Aaron. Fight it. The figures glide closer, circling like wolves. Their mouths gape wider, splitting up to the ears, black spines flexing from their jaws. Voices pour out, slick and sweet, wrapping like silk around my thoughts. Don't run. Stay. We can help. My grip slips. Aaron's boot hits the spiral, and the earth splits beneath it with a sound like tearing flesh. A stench rolls out, sweet and cloying, like rot boiled in honey. Something moves in the dark below. Something big. I scream, raw and animal, and wrench Aaron backward with everything I have left. My vision swims. My muscles tear fire. He slams into me, and together we hit the mud hard enough to knock the breath out of both of us. For a second, the pull loosens. Just enough. Get up. I bellow, dragging him toward the gap. The forest ahead boils with mist, but it's the only way. Behind us, the figures surge. No more slow glide. They break, spider-fast, limbs scissoring through the air, mouths yawning so wide their heads split open like flowers of bone. The light streak with them, glyphs blazing like lightning, tearing across the ground, the stones, the trees. The hum spikes into a scream. And something huge, begins to climb out of the pit. We run. We don't look back. We can't. The sound alone would break us. The ground shudders underfoot, wet soil sucking at our boots, roots clutching like fingers. The mist lashes our faces, cold and stinking, wrapping around our throats. My lungs burn molten, my legs shriek, but terror drives me like a whip. Terror and something darker, something old, coiled at the base of my skull, whispering that if I stop, if I falter, I won't just die. I'll become. Aaron sobs ragged behind me, but he runs. God help me, he runs. The clearing vanishes behind us, swallowed in white fire and black shapes. The trees close in, a cage of twisting limbs, their bark crawling with symbols that sear my vision. The hum throbs through the roots, the soil, the marrow of my bones. And then, something grabs me. Not a hand. Not flesh. Cold. Slick. It coils my ankle like a wet rope and yanks. I hit the ground so hard the world goes white. Mud fills my mouth, my nose. I choke, thrash, claw at the earth as it drags me back toward the glow boiling through the trees. Aaron. I scream, voice shredding. He spins. His eyes are wild, bloodshot, but for one blessed second, he moves. He lunges, grabs my arms, braces his legs, and pulls. The thing yanks harder. My body jerks like a rag doll. My fingernails rip out in the mud. The glow blooms closer, crawling up the trees, burning my retinas. The whispers pour over me like water, sweet and cold and endless. Stay. Something gives, a root, a bone, I don't know, and suddenly I'm free. I sprawl in the muck, coughing blood, vision swimming. Aaron hauls me up, throws my arm over his shoulders, and we run, staggering like drunks, every step agony. Behind us, the forest screams. I don't know how long it takes. Minutes. Hours. Time's gone. There's only the blur of trees, the burn of air in my lungs, the pounding of blood in my ears. The mist thins, just enough to see the slope ahead. The faint glint of something metal between the trunks. The car. It's the car. We crash out of the trees like hunted animals, boots sliding on gravel, limbs flailing. Aaron fumbles the keys from his pocket with hands that shake so hard they blur. The fob slips once, twice, clatters to the ground. I snatch it, slam my thumb on the button. The car chirps, lights flashing like a flare in the dark. We dive in, doors slamming, locks thudding down. I'm screaming before I even know it, drive. Drive, drive, drive. As Aaron jams the key, engine roaring, tires spitting gravel. The forest rears behind us, a wall of mist and light and black shapes boiling between the trees. And then, we're flying down the dirt road, the car fishtailing, stones spitting fire. Branches whip the windshield. The hum fades, slow, reluctant, sinking back into the bones of the earth. The lights wink out one by one, swallowed by the black. Until there's nothing. Just the road. Just the night. Just us. Aaron doesn't speak. Neither do I. Not for miles. Not until the trees thin to ragged silhouettes. And the first rotten skeleton of a cell phone tower claws at the sky. Only then does he whisper, hoarse and hollow, "What the hell was that?" I stare out the windshield at the empty road, my fingers locked so tight on the seatbelt they've gone numb. My voice scrapes out, cracked and raw, like something that hasn't been used in years. I don't know, I say. But I do. Because in the rearview mirror, just for a second, I see a light. Faint. Blue. Flickering in the trees. The silence should feel like salvation. No whispers. No humming in my skull. No sound except the steady churn of tires on dirt and the hollow rasp of Aaron's breath. But it isn't salvation. It's wrong, empty in a way that makes my bones ache, like sound itself has been stripped from the world. Aaron's hands strangle the wheel. His knuckles glow white in the dashboard light, sweat slicking his skin. His face looks carved from stone, every muscle rigid, eyes locked on the tunnel of road ahead. His lips move now and then, fragments of words I can't hear over the blood roaring in my ears. I should say something. Anything. But every time I try, the words stick like thorns in my throat. So I just sit there, clutching the seatbelt, watching the forest slide by in black walls, broken now and then by slashes of pale mist. And then I see it. A flicker. Out of the corner of my eye, just beyond the tree line, a pinprick of blue, faint and cold. Gone before I can blink. My chest tightens. My pulse spikes. No. No, it's nothing. A reflection. A trick. Then another flicker. Closer this time. And another. The trees are full of them. I squeeze my eyes shut, hard enough to see stars. When I open them, the lights are still. They're pale, bluish, drifting like fireflies through the pines. Dozens of them now. No, hundreds. Stretching between the trunks like veins, sliding, weaving in patterns too precise to be random. My voice rips out before I can stop it. Aaron, I see them, he says flatly. His knuckles clamp harder. The car fishtails as he stomps the gas. Gravel spits like gunfire. The engine howls, straining against the climb as the road curves, narrows, winds deeper between the trees instead of out of them. I twist in my seat, heart slamming, and my stomach drops. They're following us. Not running. Not flying. Just sliding between the trunks in perfect arcs, their glow swelling, pulsing, beating like a heart. Some streak low to the ground, carving glyphs into the dirt that flare and fade before I can blink. Others rise high, threading the canopy like burning constellations. And all of them, every single one, is keeping pace with the car. Aaron floors it. The engine screams. The road shudders under us like something alive. Trees blur into black smears, light streaking in cold ribbons beyond them. My breath comes in. Ragged, tearing gulps. Then I see the sign. Raven Ridge Trailhead, 2 miles. My gut twists. That's the sign we passed this morning. Before the hike. Before the clearing. Before the lights. But that was 7 miles from the car. 7 miles behind us. The road loops again, sharper this time, coiling like a snake. My stomach lurches. The headlights slash across the trees, and hit the same damn sign again. Raven Ridge Trailhead, 2 miles. Aaron curses, short, harsh, ripping out of his throat, and slams the wheel. The car jerks left onto a narrow spur track, tires skidding, gravel shrieking. My head snaps against the window. Pain sparks white. We fishtail, straighten, rocket down the new road. The lights follow. The track narrows, branches whipping the windshield like claws. Leaves explode in the beams. Mud slaps against the undercarriage. The car bucks and shudders like a beast trying to throw us, but Aaron doesn't let up. His face is stone. His jaw grinds like gears. Then, headlights hit something ahead. A pale shape, tall and thin, standing in the middle of the road. For half a breath, I think it's a person. Then it turns. Not fast. Slow. So slow it makes my stomach heave. Its limbs creak as it pivots, joints bending in too many places. Its head swivels last, like it's unscrewing from its spine, until its face, if you can call that stretch of black nothing a face, is staring right into the beams. And then it smiles. Wide. Wider. Splitting in silence. Aaron screams something wordless and jerks the wheel. The car swerves, skids into the ditch. Tires spin, chew mud, spit stones like bullets. My body slams against the belt hard enough to bruise. The engine roars. The headlights swing wild, and catch the thing stepping toward us on limbs like broken stilts. Go. I shriek, my voice cracking into glass. Go, go, go. The tires bite. The car lurches, rockets out of the ditch. I slam against the door as we fishtail past the thing, so close I smell it, sweet and foul, like flowers rotting in syrup. Its smile stretches to the ears. Its head tilts. And in that tilting, I hear it, not with my ears but inside. Curling slick along my skull. Stop. My muscles lock. My breath jams in my throat. My hands spasm on the seatbelt like they're fused there. For a sick, sliding second, I feel my body turn, not because I want to, but because it wants me to. My head drags toward the window like a magnet. And I see them. The lights. Not outside now. Inside. Threading under my skin like veins of cold fire, crawling through me, pulsing with my heart. I wrench my eyes shut and scream, raw and blind, until the sound shatters whatever hold it had. I slam forward, fists in my hair, sobbing through my teeth. When I open my eyes, the thing is gone. But the road ahead, oh God, the road, it's the same. The same trees. The same sign. Raven Ridge Trailhead, 2 miles. Aaron laughs. It bursts out sharp, wild, high. A broken sound that scrapes the air like glass. His eyes are wide, white rolling in the dash glow, his grin carving lines into his face. We're not leaving, he says. His voice is calm now. Dead calm. Like the forest, like the pit. Don't you get it? There's no out. Never was. Aaron, my voice shreds. Don't say that. He turns his head slow, too slow, and smiles at me. And it's wrong. Too wide. Too many teeth. The grin cuts across his face like a wound, stretching, peeling. It's still Aaron's skin, Aaron's eyes, but something inside has shifted, tilted, like a picture frame knocked off level. His pupils are blown wide, swallowing the color, black holes drinking the dashboard glow. And his lips, they don't move right anymore. They twitch, jerk, as if pulled by invisible threads. Aaron, I whisper. My voice is sandpaper. My hands claw at the seatbelt, slick with sweat. Don't do this, he chuckles. It's not his laugh. Not the quick, barking sound I've heard 100 times. This one's low, bubbling up like something rotting underwater, breaking in strange places like it doesn't know where a laugh is supposed to stop. The car jerks as the wheel twists, too sharp, too sudden. I slam into the door, shoulder screaming, as gravel sprays in a storm of sparks. Branches rake the windshield like claws. The high beams slash across the trees, and there, for an instant, I see faces. Not human. Not whole. Faces stretched across bark like wet masks, mouths gaping, black spines writhing where tongues should be. Eyes, dear God, the eyes, pressing from inside the wood, rolling slow, milky and blind. Then they're gone. We're spinning, tires shrieking, the car whipping sideways in a spray of mud. My scream tangles in my throat as the world jerks left, right, up, down, and then slams to a stop with a crunch that shakes my teeth. For a second, I can't breathe. The headlights carve wild arcs across the forest, skewed now, one beam dead. Steam hisses from under the hood, curling white through the dark like phantom breath. And Aaron just sits there. Still gripping the wheel. Still smiling that smile. I fumble for the handle. My fingers slip on sweat, mud, blood, I don't know whose. The belt bites my chest like a chain, locking me in. I claw at it, yank, curse through teeth that feel like they'll shatter. My ears are ringing with the engine's last groan, with the hiss of cooling metal. With the whisper that slides between the sounds. Don't run. Aaron turns his head. The sound his neck makes isn't right. A wet grind, like meat tearing from bone. His grin peels wider, jaw splitting until it clicks against the hinge of his ears. The skin tears with a soft, sucking sound, black threads glistening in the rips. You always trusted me, he says. His voice comes in fragments, his own, Lily's, Marcus's, voices I don't know, all laced together into something soft and sweet and wrong. You always followed. I rip the belt loose. It whips across my chest with a snap that scorches my ribs. My hand slams the handle, shoves the door. It creaks, groans, sticks in the mud. Aaron's arm moves. Too fast. Too long. It snakes across the console, fingers splitting at the tips, peeling into slick black spines that hook the edge of my jacket and drag me back hard enough to wrench my shoulder from its socket. Pain detonates white across my vision. My scream claws the dark. He leans close. So close I smell it, sweet, rancid, like flowers drowned in syrup, like the inside of a grave. His face is a mask tearing loose from whatever wears it. The grin gapes to a pit, and from that pit drips black strands that pulse faintly, glowing with script that writhes like worms under glass. Stay, he whispers. His breath is cold as a cave. Something slams outside. A crack like a gunshot. The windshield explodes in a bloom of glass and mist as a tree, no, not a tree, something like a tree but alive, twitching, crawling with glyphs, punches through the hood, ripping steel like paper. The car lurches, metal screaming, lights shattering into black. The hum rolls in, deep, deep, shaking the marrow of my bones. Aaron jerks toward it, head snapping on a hinge, jaws tearing wider to loose a shriek that isn't his, isn't human, a sound that claws through my skull and drags hot blood from my ears. And in that split breath, before the black ropes can close around my throat, I move. I don't remember unbuckling the belt. Don't remember wrenching the door. Just the cold night slamming my lungs as I hurl myself into the dark, boots punching mud, legs screaming. I hit the ditch, roll, smash through underbrush so thick it skins my arms raw. The world shreds to green-black blur and silver streaks of moonlight cutting through fog. Behind me, sounds. Not footsteps. Not human. Things sliding. Clicking. Whispers curling like smoke. A voice calling my name in Lily's tone, in Marcus's drawl, in Aaron's low laugh, all braided together like ropes pulling at the base of my skull. Stay, stay, stay. I run harder. The road vanishes behind me, swallowed by fog and black veins of trees. The forest tilts, spins, tangles. I don't know where I'm going. I don't care. There's only forward. Forward until the ground drops under me like a sprung trap. I tumble down a slope slick with moss, smashing through roots that claw my ribs, tearing fists of earth as I fall. I hit bottom in a burst of rot stink and bone pain. For a heartbeat, I just lie there, wheezing, lungs full of knives, vision pulsing red. Then the hum rolls through the soil. Low. Endless. Alive. I lift my head, and freeze. The pit yawns before me. Not the same one. Bigger. Vast. A mouth split in the earth, lips crawling with script that burns. Pale against the black. Mist boils from its throat, stinking sweet and foul. And inside, oh God, inside something moves. Not fast. Not all at once. A ripple, deep below, swelling up through the dark like a beast turning in sleep. I see shapes in the fog, limbs. Wings. Things that don't have names in any language humans ever spoke. Each swell makes the ground quake, splitting roots, cracking stone. The hum rises with it, blooming into my bones, sliding behind my eyes like hooks. I should run. I should scream. But my legs are gone. My mind is unraveling, threads snapping one by one. The whispers curl soft now, sweet, promising. Rest. End. Home. Something slick brushes my ankle. I look down. And see fingers. Too many fingers. Peeling from the soil like roots, black and gleaming, tips splitting into spines that twitch, twitch, twitch as they hook my boot and start to pull. I suck a breath so sharp it flays my throat, and I hear myself scream, not words, just a raw animal howl, as I wrench free and claw up the slope on hands and knees. Nails rip. Flesh tears. Mud fills my mouth like blood. Behind me, the earth splits wider, birthing limbs that spear skyward like dead trees, each carved with light that writhes like worms. And above the pit, just for an instant, I see an eye. Not round. Not human. A slit the size of a car door, opening slow, flooding the fog with blue fire that burns my vision white. Then the soil gives, and I'm sliding, rolling, falling, straight into black. The fall doesn't stop. It feels like dropping through an endless throat, walls slick and cold, clutching at my clothes. With fingers made of mud and bone. Air claws past my face in ragged bursts, sour and damp, tasting like rot and rusted iron. I flail, screaming into the black until my voice splinters to nothing, until my lungs feel like they'll tear apart. And then, impact. Not hard enough to kill me. Not soft enough to spare the pain. My shoulder slams stone, ribs cracking against rock, knees screaming as I tumble through a choking cloud of dust and land in something wet and cold that isn't water. For a long moment, I just lie there, gagging on the stench. It crawls down my throat, thick and sweet, like spoiled fruit left to rot in a grave. My fingers sink into muck that pulses faintly, like meat twitching under my palms. My stomach heaves bile up my throat, burning my mouth. Then the hum rolls in. Deeper now. Closer. A living thing vibrating through the marrow of my bones. My teeth chatter with it. My vision throbs to its rhythm, blue veins crawling behind my eyelids. It's not a sound anymore. It's a presence. Heavy. Endless. A gravity dragging at the meat of my thoughts. I force my eyes open. And wish I hadn't. The cavern yawns vast and lightless, the ceiling lost in a canopy of roots thick as columns, dripping with something black and glistening. Glyphs writhe across them, glowing pale as old bones in a tide of mist that slithers through the air like smoke underwater. The walls crawl with shapes I can't name, faces pressed into stone like masks half swallowed, mouths gaping, whispers leaking out like steam. The floor is worse. It's not stone. It's a weave of veins, roots, tendons, something, slick and pulsing under a skin of translucent muck. Things move inside, twitching, sliding, coiling in spirals that vanish into black pits yawning between the knots. Every beat of that endless hum makes the floor shiver, like the whole cavern is a lung breathing slow and deep. And at its heart, the pit. Bigger than the one above. Big enough to swallow cities. Its rim is ringed with monoliths carved with symbols that burn blue-white, spitting sparks like nerves on fire. The spirals etched into the floor twist inward toward that black maw, where mist boils thick, hiding shapes that heave and ripple like continents shifting in the dark. The hum swells as I stare. My vision warps. My thoughts slip. For a moment, I see the truth of it, the pit isn't a hole. It's an eye. Blinking slow. Watching me. Something moves behind me. Soft. Wet. Like meat dragging through mud. I spin, hands scrabbling for anything, and see them. Figures sliding between the roots, long and black and wrong. Limbs bending like broken branches, heads cocking in jerks that snap joints backward. Their mouths gape wide, wider, tearing into pits lined with twitching spines. Voices leak out, Marcus, Lily, Aaron, my mother, names I haven't heard in years, all braided together into one sweet, beckoning rope. Stay, they whisper. Join. Be still. I stumble back, boots squelching into the pulsing muck. The whispers slither through my ears, curling soft around my skull. My limbs twitch. My jaw locks. For a heartbeat, I feel it, roots sliding under my skin, veins lighting with blue fire, bones softening like wax. I bite my tongue until blood floods my mouth, hot and real, and stagger sideways into a tangle of roots. My nails rip as I claw up the slick wall, dragging myself toward a fissure splitting the stone like a wound. Behind me, something laughs. The fissure narrows fast, roots clutching like ribs. I shove through, skin scraping raw, lungs ripping with every ragged breath. The whispers swell, crowding the dark, sliding into my skull in voices that sound like me, like home, like every soft thing I've ever wanted. I burst out into another chamber and freeze. It's smaller, no pit here. Just walls slick with script, pulsing in patterns that twitch like worms. In the center hangs something that might once have been human. It dangles upside down from the roots, skin peeled in ribbons, muscles glistening like wet silk. Its mouth gapes open in a scream that never ends, and from that mouth spills a steady thread of light, thin, blue, twisting upward into the roots like smoke. Its eyes are gone. Its ribs are open like a cage, and inside, something moves, something black, pulsing slow, feeding on the flicker of its light. And the face, oh God, the face, it's Aaron. Or what's left of him. His lips twitch as I stare, peeling back from broken teeth. Run. He croaks. A sound like dry leaves scraping bone. Before I can move, his head jerks hard enough to snap the spine, and his voice, splits into a dozen others, all laughing through his throat. I turn and run. I don't think. I don't breathe. I just claw through the roots, smash through bone-tasting mist, scrape my skin raw on stone until my hands are ribbons and my knees are meat. The hum booms through the walls, louder now, vibrating the air into syrup. My thoughts flicker like moths in a jar. Things move in the dark, arms, jaws, wings that aren't wings, brushing my back, slick and cold. And then, a glow. Faint. Ahead. I lunge toward it, lungs burning acid, vision swimming in blue fire. Roots claw at my arms, my hair, ripping flesh, whispering in voices sweet and low, stay. Rest. Home. I tear free. The fissure opens into a crack of night. Real night. Cold air knifes my face like salvation as I hurl myself out of the earth, dragging, clawing, screaming until the scream shreds to a sob and the sob to a dry rasp. I collapse in mud slick with dew, under a sky torn with stars that look too sharp, too bright, like eyes watching from a distance. For a long time, I just lie there, wheezing, choking on sobs that taste of blood. My hands twitch like dead spiders. My skin crawls with phantom roots. The hum is gone, but its echo still coils through the marrow of my bones. And then, light. Blue. Flickering in the trees. I lift my head. My vision tilts, swims, but I see them, floating through the pines, weaving in arcs too perfect for chance. Dozens. Hundreds. Their glow slicks the trunks, etching fresh glyphs into the bark that writhe like living veins. And behind them, a shape. Tall. Black. Smiling wide enough to split the sky. I can't move at first. My limbs feel hollow, stuffed with static, my bones humming like struck glass. Every breath razors my throat, tastes like blood and smoke. The night air should feel clean, but it doesn't, it crawls with damp rot, with the whisper of things older than language. And the lights. God, the lights. They swarm between the trees now, cold and blue, pulsing in perfect arcs, spiraling like a heartbeat turned inside out. Each flicker carves fresh glyphs into bark that writhes like wounds, symbols splitting and knitting as if alive. They're not random. They're sentences. Summons. A language older than stars, bleeding through the skin of the world. And they're closing in. Slow. Certain. Hurting me. I push up on trembling arms, mud slicking my palms. My body screams protest, every muscle shredded, lungs raw, but some animal instinct forces me to my feet. My legs lurch like broken marionettes as I stagger between the trees, the taste of iron flooding my mouth. The forest tilts, spins, roots snatching at my boots like fingers trying to pull me back under. The whispers start again. Not in the air this time. In my head. Soft as breath. Sweet as home. No more running. No more hurt. Just rest. Voices I know. Marcus. Lily. Aaron. My father. My mother. Even my own voice, curling out of the dark like a hand closing on my throat. I bite my tongue until it splits. Salt blood floods my mouth, sharp and real, anchoring me to pain. To now. To fight. I run. Branches claw my arms, ripping ribbons of skin. Shadows flicker like dancers in the corners of my vision. My breath tears out in ragged bursts, white in the cold as the lights swell. Brighter now, burning through the mist like veins of fire. I smash through brush, vault fallen. Logs, rip through curtains of moss that taste like rot. Every step is a scream in my muscles, every beat of my heart a drum counting down to something vast and final. Then, the road. I stumble out of the tree-line like a drunk, crashing to my knees on the gravel. The sky yawns above, vast and sharp with stars. The air tastes different here, thin, bitter, edged with frost. I drag myself upright, boots skidding on loose stone, and there, sweet God, there it is, the car. Sitting skewed in the ditch where we left it, hood crumpled, windshield spidered with cracks. Steam still hisses from under the mangled frame like smoke curling from a grave. And behind the shattered glass, Aaron. What's left of him? He's slumped against the wheel, head twisted at an angle no neck should hold. His grin gapes ear to ear, tearing into black threads that pulse faintly in the dashboard glow. His chest twitches in slow, jerking spasms, ribs flexing like something inside is trying to crawl free. And his eyes, oh God, his eyes roll white, then black, then blaze with cold fire that flickers like the glyphs on the trees. When he speaks, it's not speech. It's a sound that hits like a flood of teeth, bursting behind my eyes, slamming into my thoughts until my knees buckle in the gravel. My vision whites out, seared with spirals spinning faster, faster, eating my mind like worms through fruit. Stay. The word blooms inside me like a root system, branching into every vein, sinking hooks in the meat of my brain. My muscles lock. My jaw splits with a scream that won't rip free. I feel it sliding under my skin, cold, slick, pulsing with blue fire, etching glyphs into my bones. And then, a horn splits the night. Blinding light floods the road. Headlights. A truck, barreling around the bend, grill blazing chrome, engine bellowing like a beast. For a second, my thoughts stutter, the root hook slipping just enough. I throw myself sideways, every joint screaming, as the truck roars past and smashes into the ditch. Metal screams. Glass explodes in a blossom of sparks. Aaron, whatever he is now, flies from the wreck in a smear of black and bone, limbs jerking like a broken puppet before he slams into the tree lean and bursts apart in a slick spray of shadow that writhes as it hits the earth. The driver, a man with a face like leather and eyes wide with terror, stumbles from the cab, shouting words I can't hear over the roar in my skull. He grabs me, hauls me upright, his hands like iron clamps. His mouth moves fast, frantic, but all I hear is static, all I feel is the pull, the sweet, endless pull of the lights blooming brighter in the trees. Because they're here. All of them. The forest boils with glow now, blue fire crawling up the trunks, spilling across the road, etching spirals into the gravel that writhe like living veins. The hum rolls through the ground, through the truck, through my teeth until they chatter blood. The mist lashes white, reeking of rot and honey. And from the tree lean, the figures glide. Tall. Black. Smiling. Their limbs scissor the air like razors, joints bending in liquid arcs. Their jaws gape, splitting to the ears, spilling ropes of black that pulse with glyph light. Voices pour from them in a flood, Lily's laugh, Marcus's sob, Aaron's low chuckle, all braided into a chorus that whispers, croons, pleads, stay. Join. Be still. The driver freezes, staring as his breath smokes the air. His lips move, what the hell, and then a shape slams him from the side. There's a crunch like wetwood splitting, a scream that cuts off in a snap, and half his body arcs into the trees, trailing threads of red that turn black before they hit the ground. I run. Not toward the car. Not toward the road. Toward the woods. Away from the lights. No. There's no away. They thread the world like veins now, burning through bark, through soil, through the meat of the night. But forward is all I have, forward. Through clawing branches and mud that sucks at my boots, forward with my lungs tearing fire. And my vision strobing blue-white with glyphs spinning behind my eyes. The whispers bloom soft in my skull, curling like smoke, sweet as lullabies. No pain. No fear. Just come home. And for a heartbeat, I want to. God help me, I want to. Then I see it. A glow ahead, but not blue. Orange. Flickering. Fire. My heart slams against my ribs like a fist. I hurl myself toward it, branches whipping blood from my skin, lungs ripping as I crash through the last tangle of roots and burst into a clearing washed in orange light. A cabin squats in the mist, low and mean, its walls sagging under decades of rot. Fire spills from a barrel out front, spitting sparks into the dark. Shapes hunch around it, 3, 4, faces carved with lines, eyes hard and sharp as glass. Men. Hunters, maybe. Drifters. Doesn't matter. They spin as I stumble into the glow, mouths curling, hands flashing to knives, to shotguns, to chains that clink like iron snakes. For a second, they just stare at me, mud-soaked, blood-smeared, eyes wild and glowing faintly blue in the firelight. And then the forest screams. The sound detonates the night, a roar of voices braided into one endless howl, shaking the ground, splitting the sky. The men curse, spit, swing their guns to the trees as the lights flood in, boiling through the mist, crawling up the trunks like veins of living fire. I hit the dirt, sobbing, as the first figure steps into the glow. And smiles. The hunters don't hesitate. Gunfire rips the night open in jagged bursts, thunder rolling off the trees as the cabin spits flame and smoke. Buckshot tears bark into splinters. Sparks fly like swarms of angry fireflies. The clearing fills with the stink of powder and sweat and blood-hot fear. But the figures don't stop. They move like shadows liquefied, jerking and gliding in the same breath, limbs unfolding in sick geometry, joints splitting and reforming as they carve through the mist. Bullets punch holes through them, spitting black ropes that hiss as they hit the ground, but the ropes ride, not, pull themselves back in. Every wound closes like a mouth, every tear another smile. The men curse, scream, pump rounds until their guns clack empty, and then the lights surge. Blue fire blossoms from the trees, a tide of glyphs riding across the trunks, pouring down roots like rivers of lightning. The ground splits under the hunter's boots, veins glowing pale beneath the soil. Mist lashes white, thick with rot stink and honey-sweet promise. And from that boiling dark comes the sound. Not whispers now. Not voices. A single word, ripping through the world like a blade of pure thought, come. I drop, clap my hands over my ears, but it's in my bones, in the meat of my brain, shoving my skull apart with invisible claws. My vision fractures into spirals, into blue-white script spinning faster, faster, until I can't tell the ground from the sky. My name peels away like old paint. My memories tear loose, one by one, unspooling into the hum, my mother's face, the taste of summer peaches, Lily's laugh, Marcus's steady hands, Aaron's crooked grin, gone, gone, all burning in the blue. I slam my head into the dirt just to feel something real. Blood floods my mouth. Warm. Metallic. Mine. It anchors me. Barely. Enough to lift my eyes. And see the hunters die. The first man swings his shotgun like a club. A limb scythes through him, black and slick, spines flaring like teeth. His body folds in half, spilling ropes of red that turn black before they hit the dirt. Another man roars, empties a revolver into a mouth that splits up the spine of a thing that shouldn't have a spine. The bullets vanish like stones into water. The mouth yawns wider. His scream gurgles to nothing. The last man runs. He doesn't make it 3 steps. The lights take him. They pour into him in threads of blue fire, sliding under his skin, lighting his veins like molten glass. He jerks, thrashes, jaws cracking, eyes burning glyph bright, and then he goes still. And smiles. I crawl. Through mud slick with things I can't name, over roots that twitch like nerves, under a sky burning blue with lights that spiral and braid like veins. The whispers bloom again, soft and sweet, promising silence, rest, home. My body aches to listen. My bones hunger to stop. To open. To let them in. But some ember in me, small, savage, flares against the dark. I keep crawling. Toward the cabin. Its door hangs wide, yawning black against the firelight. I drag myself across the threshold, boots slipping in blood slick and strange. The air inside is colder, stinking of rot and wet earth. Shadows ripple along the walls like water stirred by unseen hands. I slam the door. It doesn't matter. The light's already inside. It pours through the cracks, threads writhing under the wood-like veins, seeping across the floor, up the walls, crawling into the grain like roots through bone. The hum shakes the nails loose, makes the glass scream in the frames. I press my back to the wall, chest heaving, eyes burning blue in the dark. And then, movement. The far wall splits. Not cracks. Smiles. The boards peel back in curling ribbons, teeth sprouting in the seams like ivory flowers. Shadows stretch, jerk, slither into the room, dragging limbs that scrape sparks from the floor. Mouths gape in their slick hides, spilling ropes of black that pulse faintly with glyph light. Voices pour out like syrup, thick and sweet, drowning the air. Stay. Rest. Home. I press a fist to my mouth, biting down so hard I taste iron and splinters. My thoughts unravel in blue threads, spooling into the dark. And then, I see it. On the floor. A canister. Red. Rusted. Stamped with a word that blooms through the haze like a flare, gasoline. I lunge. My fingers close on the handle, slick with oil and blood. I tear the cap loose with my teeth, spit metal, gag on fumes that burn my throat raw. The first splash hisses across the boards, dark and shining in the firelight leaking through the door cracks. The smell hits like a fist, sharp, chemical, blessedly real. The figures pause. Not all the way. Just enough. Their heads tilt, jerking, mouth stretching in curious arcs as the gas pools, streams, crawls toward their feet. The whispers falter, stutter, fracture into clicks and hisses. I grab a rag from the counter, jam it in the canister mouth, and rip the lighter from a dead man's belt. My hands shake so hard the wheel slips twice, thrice, before a spark blooms in the dark like a seed of fire. Their mouths split wider. They know. I smile back. And drop the match. The world erupts. Fire screams through the cabin in a sheet of orange fury, devouring shadows, chewing through wood with jaws of heat. Gasoline roars up in fountains of blue-white flame, licking the ceiling, tearing the night open with smoke and sparks. The figures shriek, not in pain, not human, but a sound that cracks the air, splits it, makes the flames twist in wild, writhing arcs. I dive through the window as the blast punches me into the mud. Glass shreds my arms, heat sears my lungs, the roar of fire drowning the whispers for one blessed instant. I run. Through trees vomiting smoke, under a sky boiling blue with glyph light, over roots that clutch like hands. My clothes burn. My skin blisters. My thoughts spiral into static. But I keep moving. Because behind me, the cabin collapses in a blossom of sparks, and from the fire crawls something too big for the world to hold. I don't look back. Not when the hum swells into a roar that tears the stars down. Not when the earth splits under my feet, vomiting spirals of fire and light. Not when the trees peel open like ribs, spilling roots slick with teeth. I run until the forest thins, until the gravel chews my boots, until headlights spear the dark like salvation. A truck slams brakes, tires screaming, horn bellowing. Men shout. Hands grab me, drag me up into a cab stinking of diesel and sweat. Voices blur through the roar in my skull. Jesus Christ, what happened to you? Are you alone? What the hell is that behind? I twist. Through the rear glass, I see the trees burning blue. And the lights. Following. They don't stop when the road does. They don't stop when the town lights bloom on the horizon like flowers of glass. They don't stop when sirens wail and men with guns shout questions that fall into the hum like stones into the sea. Because it's not the forest anymore. It's everywhere. Lights threading power lines like veins. Glyphs crawling under the paint of cars, the skin of houses, the glass of phones that flare blue with messages you don't remember sending. And in every mirror, every dark pane of glass, a smile. Waiting. I don't sleep now. Can't. Because when I close my eyes, I hear it. Low. Endless. Soft as breath at the nape of my neck, stay. Rest. Home. And deep inside, beneath the fear, beneath the fire, beneath the scream, I feel something rooting. Growing. Smiling.